This morning, we're shining our spotlight on the suspicious death of Ellen Greenberg, a first-grade teacher found stabbed more than 20 times in her own apartment. And now a new docuseries that her family and friends are hoping will shed some light on her is coming out. It's called Death in Apartment 603, What Happened to Ellen Greenberg? Let's take a look.
Help, Peter, emergency now. My fiance's on the floor with blood everywhere. Please hurry. There's a knife sticking out of her heart. Oh, no. Oh, no.
It was January of 2011 when Greenberg was discovered dead by her fiance. She suffered more than 20 stab wounds. Philadelphia medical examiner initially ruled Greenberg's death a homicide before switching it to suicide.
How was this ruled a suicide?
It just does not add up.
I have investigated stabbing suicides in my career, but I've never seen anyone stab themselves in the back.
My goodness. Now, this is going to come out on Hulu. Ellen Greenberg was discovered by her fiance, a guy named Sam Goldberg. Back in 2011, he told police that he had to bust into the apartment because the door was locked from the inside. Now, Goldberg has never been charged in connection with Greenberg's death. Her death initially ruled a homicide, then the ME changed it to suicide, which meant there would be no criminal investigation. And back in February, the Philadelphia medical examiner changed it again, saying that the manner of death should be amended to something other than suicide. And the city has agreed to reopen the case with the current ME. So some progress is being made here. Now, let's talk a little bit about this case. I want to bring in someone who's in that Hulu docuseries. She's a friend of Court TV Network, been on the show before, forensic pathologist Dr. Michelle Dupree. And to give us legal analysis as well, we have attorney Franz Borghardt here too. Okay, so Dr. Michelle, your thoughts on what happened to Ellen Greenberg?
I don't know how this could possibly be ruled a suicide. And there is no manner of death as something other than homicide. There's only 5, and that's not one of them. It's either suicide, homicide, accident, natural, or undetermined.
Right. And so to suggest that this was something else, it just seems crazy to people, lay people who are not forensic pathologists like yourself are going, how in the world with this beautiful, young, vivacious woman, have stabbed herself, all these in the back, stab wounds to her back. Dr. Michelle, I don't know how in the world someone didn't have eyes on this when this happened, say, wait a minute, this can't be possible.
I don't understand it either. And I've read the autopsy report, of course, and gone through the photos and the scene photos. And this is a tragedy. And, you know, her parents are such heroes for pursuing this. Accolades to them.
Yeah, most definitely. Our hearts break for her parents. We've got a clip when they spoke to PennLive.com back in February, because remember, this is a Philadelphia area case. Let's listen to some of what mom and dad shared.
They said something about suicide, which I never considered for 1 second. Never, ever, ever would she do that.
It's like somebody punches you hard in the stomach, and again, and the air goes out of your lungs, and you can't breathe.
It's heartbreaking. Franz, I want to go to you on the fiance. So has not been charged. His name is Sam Goldberg. He's the 911 caller. He said to the dispatcher, quote, "Oh my God, she stabbed herself. She fell on a knife. I don't know, her knife is sticking out." Boy, it sounds like something we've heard a couple times here on Court TV, huh, Franz? In the Colin Griffith case, recently in the Samantha Krebs case as well. Is this fall on a knife theory becoming common? What do you think?
So I was just about to say, haven't we covered this kind of homicide? And I use that word deliberately. We've seen this before. And look, this guy is presumed innocent, but generally when we have the fiance or boyfriend calling in saying something ridiculous like she must have fallen on a knife, we generally see a subsequent prosecution, arrest and prosecution. Julie, this is not like Stairwell or Staircase, where it's like, well, did she fall down the stairway or was she pushed? This one's pretty much easy, and I hate to say it that way, and I'm sorry, it smells funny. So you got two choices. Either this is blatant incompetence in terms of a medical decision, a forensic medical decision, or there's something going on here that's a little sketchy. And I'm going to put it nicely for national TV, sketchy. I don't understand. And guys, just so we're on the same page, probable cause, the lowest level of standard is more likely than not a crime happened, not proof beyond a reasonable doubt. This is like textbook probable cause for homicide. So I maybe this documentary will put some life into this case and something will happen with it. But this just smells really funny.
Sure does, Franz. As I was just going to say, stinks to high heaven, this one. Dr. Dupree, this beautiful young lady had 20 stab wounds on her neck, her spine, the top of her head, and 11 bruises found in various stages of healing all over her body. Dr. Dupree, do you think she could have been a victim of domestic violence?
Absolutely, Julie. It certainly sounds like it. And, you know, the other thing that I want to mention is, you know, usually the first person that finds the victim and or the spouse or significant other is a suspect. I don't think he was ever a suspect in this.
That's a great point. You know, and when recently after her parents had to bring all the civil litigation, and the ME is saying, oh, well, now we can change it to something other than suicide, said that this is based on information that the fiance was seen entering the apartment before placing the 911 call on January 26th, 2011. Franz, is it unconscionable to you that this wasn't considered at the time of this autopsy, or maybe it was deliberately ignored? I don't know.
At the very least, it's reasonable to say this could be a homicide. At the very least, someone enters into a room and into a space and finds their partner, their fiance, whatever, and they immediately jump to, she must have stabbed herself. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and it doesn't make sense to me how there wasn't some kind of declaration of, you don't like the fiance being the one who did it? Well, it's an unsolved homicide then. It's just to say that it was a suicide at any point. And by the way, the ripple effect of this incompetency, or whatever we're going to call it, is if someone is ever prosecuted for this, guess what a good argument for reasonable doubt is? That you couldn't make up your mind if it was a homicide or not. How does a jury do that? Or you are so incompetent in your determination, how do we know that the rest of the investigation wasn't handled with the same incompetency? Total disaster.
Points. Excellent points. Boy, I wish we had more time. We're going to talk about this again as the docuseries is about to drop on Hulu. Excellent insight. Franz Borghardt, Dr. Michelle Dupree, thank you both so much.